Top 12 best countries to live in the world. Nationalistic pride, political propaganda, and commercial interests, among other considerations, may cloud up facts about the best countries to live in the world. However, an objective consideration of ease of access to the fundamental human needs will be a marker of what makes a good country. After an unbiased analysis of the indices such as healthcare services, family values, education, and crime rate, we come up with the following 12 countries as the top best to live in the world. Number 12. Singapore. Singapore is contending with Denmark, also on this list, for a ranking among the best countries in the world, according to many works and publications. The UN recognizes and highly commends Singapore for the country's attention to healthcare delivery. The country has a lot of viable health programs, such that the residents are among the healthiest in the world. And this translates to a higher life expectancy than most countries on the same scale. Number 11. Germany. Germany is proud to be a literate country, and that beats many countries of the world in education. This is not unconnected with the great attention the country gives to the education system. As at the last check, only 4% of Germans are illiterate. The majority of them receive higher education, while many of them even have postgraduate qualifications. Their educational structure breeds a more civilized and organized society. Number 10. Ireland. Ireland makes this list due to safety considerations. If you follow the world and local news, you realize that Ireland is not common in the news for bad reasons. The country is not associated with criminal activities, either targeting individuals or the established order. Homicides, suicide bombings, armed robbery, fraud, cybercrime, drug-related crimes, and other organized pestering crimes are at an unprecedentedly low rate in this country, and the trend is not about to change. Number 9. Denmark. If you care about how women folk in the society fare and love better life for women, you'd love the life at Denmark the best. If you want your kids to be happy, the best place to live in is Denmark. And if your company is looking for the most business-friendly place to site the headquarters, consider Denmark's ease of doing business. For the reasons enumerated above, we find a position for Denmark among the top 12 best countries to live. Number 8. Finland. The factors that play out positively for Denmark can find their ways through this Nordic country of Finland. Apart from offering a conducive society for women and kids to thrive, Finland is also the best in the provision of green living. This country in Northern Europe highly rated on transparency and honesty. It is indeed one of the top best countries to live in the world. Number 7. New Zealand. If you want to live in a paradisiacal environment, you should be considering living in New Zealand. The climate is idyllic, making a picnic spot in the world. A lot of cultural attractions are in New Zealand. The country's healthcare services are top-rated. All New Zealanders are entitled to qualitative education. Their modern cities are deliberately planned with good landscaping and scenery. New Zealand places a great emphasis on safety. It is the most peaceful and safest, vastly diverse country with a well-maintained paved road. There are beautiful mountains and other strikingly expressive, attractive centers. The pristine beaches are picturesque. You will be able to peacefully explore all of these due to the low-density population scattered over a vast land. You can have the best glimpse of flora and fauna in natural habitats. The young people are provided the opportunity to express themselves and enjoy their youth. World-class sports facilities dot the country's landscape and are quite accessible for the young fold. Indoor games, field and track events like racing along open beaches, swimming competitions in clean water, marathon races through deep native forest, and equestrian sports all thrive new. All these are combined with the education there. The sports people learn as they wade through the beauty of nature. The quality of life in New Zealand is high because the country's per capita income is impressively high. Their education expenditures are among the best in the world. New Zealand comes out with a clean bill of health in the world scene in areas other countries are still struggling to get their acts together. Number 6. Canada. It is a remarkable feat that despite the sheer size of Canada, good factors identifying good countries are still found there. This country, that occupies roughly 2/5 of North America, is second only to Russia in size. This beautiful country can cause you to lose your breath with its inspiring beauty. You will see the ice-bound Arctic tundra, the snow-sprinkled peak, the glittering lakes, and lush woodlands. Yet statistics show that Canada has a high rate of life satisfaction. There are relatively few homicide cases. That is why it can be recognized as one of the most peaceful countries to live in the world. The Old Age Pension Program in Canada makes it the best place to live even for the elderly. The attention given to the healthcare systems makes it mostly free. The same can be said of the educational system and structures. Deliberate efforts are made to ensure that every child has unfettered access to education, regardless of different backgrounds. The Canadian educational facilities are best across the board. Interestingly, over half of Canadians are college graduates. Number 5. Switzerland. The Swiss are among the healthiest people in the world. The health indices of Switzerland are quite impressive to such an extent that the UN commends the country for this. Most dreaded fatal diseases plaguing many developed nations of the world are in the barest minimum in Switzerland. That is why the life expectancy of Switzerland is higher. Imagine being expected to live a quality 83 years somewhere in this turbulent world. Many countries of the world have about half to 2/3 of that as life expectancy for their citizens. Number 4. Sweden. With about 10 million population, which is about 0.13% of the world's population, Sweden is indeed one of the top best countries to live in. The monarchical state of Sweden is one of the largest countries in Europe. It has great diversity in nature and climate. Its rich historical feat with its Nordic neighbors still exerts positive influences on the life there. As one of the largest countries in the EU, it has strong military roots. Still, the country has maintained decent neutrality in times of conflict. Its military is rather committed to defending the nation's territorial integrity and thus guaranteeing a peaceful coexistence. The country's might is concentrated on the protection of human rights and commitment to public service and sustainability. With all of this, Sweden can be regarded as one of the leading nations in international affairs and healthcare. This, coupled with free and compulsory education and qualitative college studies, guarantee the country's high life expectancy, which is 81 years for men and 84 for women. It's a good place to have children due to the huge 480 days of parental leave to be shared between both parents with full benefits. But you would also love the Swedes' generosity. The country is one of the highest donors for humanitarian aid. About 1% of the country's GDP is devoted to this each year. Also, refugees make up 10% of the Swedish population, and its borders remain open to more and more foreign nationals. That's why there's a continued diversity in the country. Number 3. Australia. The Human Development Report once considers Australia the second best country to live in. The country has been commended by the United Nations for the emphasis it places on education and how important it takes the matter of educating its citizens. Australian students generally score high grades in school due to the incentives the government gives in academics. Every Australian has an average of 20 years of education, which means that each one of them spends his or her youth life in the school system. Australia's education gulps more than 5% of the country's gross domestic products. If you want a good education or you want to live long, Australia no doubt is one of the best countries to live in. Number 2. Norway. The Scandinavian country of Norway has a lot of mountainous regions. Located toward the west of the Scandinavian peninsula, Norway is justifiably on the list of top 12 best countries to live in. The breathtaking, stunning terrain treats your eyes to a nice view anytime you're outdoor traveling by whatever means. Business-oriented people will love to live and trade in Norway due to its high income and vibrant private sector. Norway has a lot of safety nets against economic crisis, rocking nations after nations. Norway boasts of almost free quality healthcare services for its people. It offers similar things in education. It is free up to the college and university. Number 1. Japan. If you live in Japan, you are living among the most literate and technologically advanced people in the world. It is one of the best countries to live if you love to live exotically. About 126 million Japanese lead an urban lifestyle thanks to a thriving manufacturing sector that keeps devising technologies making life easier for people. This is besides beauties of mountains and thick forests that abound in Japan. If you are fascinated with Japanese ancient tradition and arts, yet love to enjoy a Western life, you will find a perfect blend of this in Japan. Police don't carry guns in Japan and the crime rate is quite low. Japanese society is highly organized and orderly as they are used to following rules and preventing conflicts. Very disciplined and courteous people. After watching this video, how do you feel? You surely agree with the selection. You may want to change the rating. Whichever way, you will see that these are the best countries to live in the world.